pollination, spine production is our new project, and we can see how busy they are. Then let's check it out.
Pollen is a fine to coarse powder containing the microgametophytes of seed plants, which produce the male gametes. Pollen grains have a hard coat made of sporopollenin that protects the gametophytes during the process of their movement from the stamens to the pistil of flowering plants, or from the male cone to the female cone of coniferous plants. If pollen lands on a compatible pistil or female cone, it germinates, producing a pollen tube that transfers the sperm to the ovule containing the female gametophyte. Individual pollen grains are small enough to require magnification to see detail. The study of pollen is called palynology, and is highly useful in paleoecology, paleontology, archaeology, and forensics. Pollen in plants is used for transferring haploid male genetic material from the anther of a single flower to the stigma of another in cross-pollination. In the case of self-pollination, this process takes place from the anther of a flower to the stigma of the same flower. Pollen itself is not the male gamete, Each pollen grain contains vegetative cells and a generative cell. In flowering plants, the vegetative tube cell produces the pollen tube, and the generative cell divides to form the two sperm cells. Pollen is produced in the microsporangium. Pollen grains come in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and surface markings characteristic of the species. Pollen grains of pines, firs, and spruces are winged. The smallest pollen grain, that of the forget-me-not, is around 6 m in diameter. Windborne pollen grains can be as large as about 90-100 m.
Hello guys, today I would like to talk about the development of pollen grain and formation of male gametes.
As you know, this picture shows us about general structure of a flower. So, reproductive organs of male in plant is stamens. Each stamen have two parts: filament and anther. Firstly, we have to know about anther. The function of anther is produce male sex cells or pollen grains. So, when we cut the anther, we can see 4 pollen sacs, which are held together by connective tissue. First and foremost, the cells within the pollen sacs are called microspore mother cells or microsporocytes. Each microspore mother cell is diploid. Each microspore mother cell divides by meiosis to produce 4 microspores. This cluster of 4 microspores is called a tetrad of tetraspores. Each microspore in the tetrad is haploid. Each microspore in tetrad growing into pollen grains. Nucleus in pollen grains divides by mitosis to form generative nucleus and tube nucleus. At this stage of development, the pollen grain is an immature male gametophyte. A pollen grain will mature when the generative nucleus divides by mitosis to form 2 sperm cells. That's all for today. I hope this video will help you more understand about this topic. Thank you for watching our video. Bye!